Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is BTS, that's Behind the Scenes, a show where we share a sneak peek into the latest edition of the Business Today magazine with all our viewers. Joining in on this show with me are Krishna Gopalan, Executive Editor of Business Today magazine. Also joining in is Surabhi Prasad, our Economy Editor for the Business Today magazine. Welcome to both of you and thank you so much for taking the time out for this discussion. And now to share a sneak peek into the latest edition of this new anniversary issue of ours, the 32nd edition of the BT magazine. This is the copy that I already have got my hands on. It's a big issue. It's a bumper issue, 300 plus pages and a lot to take in for all our readers of Business Today and viewers of Business Today television as well. This is one issue that will give you, a glimpse of what India has been over the last 10 years, over the last 30 years, as well as what do we look forward to over the next 5 years. The central theme of this issue is India 2029, the 5-year agenda. And both Krishna and Surabhi will help us really understand what has really gone in to make this a bumper issue as well. So Krishna, just to start off with you, this issue comes at the backdrop of India being seen as a bright spot, a shining star in the world that's filled with uncertainty. There are wars happening in 4 countries at least. At the point in time, there is inflation that is a big problem. However, for India, the fundamentals have strongly improved. India is being seen, as a country which is at the right place at the right time with the right fundamentals. Our growth projections still stand at over 7%. We've grown at the first half of FY24 at 7.7%, still the fastest growing major economy in the world. Stock markets at record high levels. The flows to India from foreign institutions have started to improve. How would you really look at the kind of timing at which this issue is really coming about?
Hi, Sakshi. Thank you very much. You're absolutely right. I don't want to, sound too optimistic. I don't want to, gush about the whole thing. But I think the fact is, there's a lot of optimism about India. You look at, as you rightly said, be it the stock markets, be it FDI, money coming in, all of it. So I think there's an intrigue and a certain level of skepticism in India has obviously now made way for a certain level of hope. Our agenda for this particular issue is very clear. We've called it a 5-year agenda deliberately. As all of us know, we're in election year now. And the foundation for economic growth for the next couple of years has been laid. A lot now is left to execution. Post-election, I think the entire story will start to play out. Just getting back to the approach we took for this particular issue, given that it's a 5-year agenda, we've always done this in the past. We decided to get a mix of columnists. So this will be from across sectors. Could be manufacturing, could be services, could be banking and financial services. So the whole idea is to get in an array of impressive names to write for the mag, and we wanted each of these execs to outline their vision for the India 2029. So the 5-year agenda, the way they saw it through their own lens, if I may say so. I'm just going to share a couple of names in terms of the biggies who've kind of, penned their thoughts down for this particular issue. There's Sanjeev Puri, the chairman and managing director of ITC. We have Suresh Narayanan of Nestle. There's Dilip Oman of ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel India. We have then Nimesh Shah of ICICI Pru. In all, we have about 35 plus columnists. We also have the likes of Harsha Bogle. So Harsha, for example, has spoken about what sports might look like in the next 5 years, what we need to do. So the whole objective in this issue is to open up India from an economy / a business perspective to really present to the world the big opportunity that India presents. So that's broadly the objective, and I must say with more than a bit of modesty that this issue has turned out much better than what we had in mind. So it's really one for the collectors.
Okay, yes, of course. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, Bibek Debroy, KV Kawat, Harsh Goenka, Adar Poonawala, TV Mohandas Pai, Neelkant Mishra, Pratap C. Reddy, Sanjeev Puri, Roshni Nadar, Malhotra, they've all been captured in their thoughts as to how do they see India panning out over the next 5 years. And this is one issue that you will get to hear from policymakers, the top business leaders, thinkers, and what they are saying about the road ahead for India. So this this is one copy that you must definitely own, and it is for keepsake as well. Surbi, let me now come to you. You clearly captured the economic scenario that India is in currently, the way we have reached here to the current standpoint, and what are we really looking at this point in time. So tell us, where are we at? How do we see the economic situation really changing over the next 5 years for India, which has its eyes firmly set at becoming a $5 trillion economy?
Thank you, Sakshi. So, like Krishna rightly pointed out, we're going to have a national election in India this year, which would pretty much set the agenda for the next 5 years for how India would go about its economic policy making. At the same time, we must also realize that over 50 countries globally are going to have their national elections, including the US, the EU Parliament, and many other countries across the world, including Ukraine and other countries. So how the global geopolitical system develops over the next 5 years will also, to some extent, have an impact on, how the Indian economy develops. But at the same time, India is a bright spot in the economy. We've grown at over 7% for the last 2-3 years. It's expected that we'll grow at close to 7% in the coming fiscal as well. And as a recent finance ministry report noted that, 5 trillion economy is possible in just the next 2-3 years, while by 2030 we should actually be eyeing a 7 trillion economy now.
Wow, wonderful. Tell us, Surbi, what are the kind of reforms that you believe are needed by India by, say, 2029 to really become a $5 trillion economy, and then, like you point out, that our eyes are set at $7 trillion economy too?
So we've already carried out a lot of reforms, but if you go through the issue as well, we've taken up a lot of sectoral stories, be it in PLI, manufacturing, jobs, etc. And even when we talk to experts and brokerages, they say that there's a lot more reforms that are needed, like the labor codes are pending. We are awaiting more land reforms that have to be taken up by states. Then the MSME sector is another sector where there's got to be a lot more simplification so that the sector can grow fully. Then most efforts are needed to make sure that basically the manufacturing sector in India takes off more, because right now we are roughly about 17.7% is the contribution of manufacturing to the GDP. We want to take it to 25%, and this is important also because it will create jobs and it will lead to trickle down benefit for the people at large. So these are the kind of reforms that we need, and while rating agencies, brokerages, everyone is really bullish about India, but if we want to move ahead in the next 5 years, we will have to have a clear blueprint on how we want to proceed. And in fact, the interim budget has also spoken about the next set of reforms and how states have to take these forward. So that's my take on this.
Absolutely. So we will keep an eye out on how things progress from here on. But Krishna, let me come to you now. You've also interviewed the co-founder and CEO Ivan Spiegel of Snap Inc. on Snapchat, and the way forward, how they're betting big on young India per se, and how the social media firm's product is resonating with the users in India, going forward from here. But tell us, it'll be important to understand how unique is Snapchat when it comes to the social media realm at this point in time. We know India is very big, consumer of social media, be it Facebook, be it all meta platforms, Instagram as well. But how is Snapchat really different?
I'm just going to take a minute to explain that, Sakshi, but more than anything else, yes, this is a big ticket exclusive. We've been trying to get in large international names for the last 2 to 3 years now.
Yeah.
So we had Sheryl Sandberg of what was then Facebook. We then had Sundar Pichai of Alphabet, and Evan Spiegel is now the big ticket one for this issue. The whole idea is to broaden our reader base and also to ensure that we have a prominent international face to provoke a sense of intrigue, if I may say so. Now, coming to your particular query, social media, of course, is all pervasive today. The thing about Snapchat is it comes to India at a very interesting time. One, it was a late entrant. They've been in India for barely 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
They've hit the 200 million user mark in absolutely record time. And a lot of people attributed that to the pandemic where, more time was perhaps spent with your handheld, which is one part of the story. But coming specifically to differentiation that Snapchat brings to the table is that a couple of points. One, the nature of messages is absolutely ephemeral. So what you put on or what you post rather will disappear in 24 hours. So the whole thing on data privacy, that particular apprehension is completely addressed, which is point number one. Number two, from a marketer slash advertiser point of view, it reaches out to a core target group in the age group of 13 to 34, which is absolutely critical, because if it means brands are looking to reach out just to that particular age group, there could be a better platform. Because the thing about advertising today is that it has a huge spillover effect. Whereas if you have a product which specifically wants to reach out to that particular age group, gender agnostic, and a product which is relevant, it makes a perfect fit. So you could be the likes of a Hindustan Unilever or a Coca-Cola, or for a matter just an SME with a limited advertising budget. Snap suddenly becomes an extremely robust and a viable advertising platform for these. Globally, 99% if not more of Snap's top lines are completely from advertising. Now cut to India, they obviously see a huge opportunity. Even by the most conservative estimates, the size of digital advertising market is to the tune of 40,000 crores, which is about $5 billion. But even in a base as large as that, it's expected to grow the fastest. And Snap is obviously tasted blood with this, because they know with that kind of positioning, affordable messaging, the fact that we have a 13 to 34 age group, and most importantly, the camera being the conduit here. You can kind of take a picture of yourself, put it up. So the whole lens logic that these guys have put up through AR makes it super interesting. And given where India is in terms of technology, given the fact that we have the largest young population, it makes for a pretty interesting combination.
Absolutely, Krishna. And we were discussing about the unique proposition that Snap has in terms of the cyber safety concerns as well, vis-a-vis the other platforms. It is seen as a safer platform. How is that?
There's a question we posed to Evan Spiegel, and he was absolutely forthright. The platform came into being with privacy being the backdrop or the propeller. So the moment these guys are comfortable about it, they said the best way to do it is to ensure the messages disappear in 24 hours. So you have absolutely zero fear in your mind about somebody getting onto your site or snooping or trying to understand what you're up to. Because if it's going to have that nature of ephemeral messaging, the privacy part is taken care of completely. So any concern on data privacy, the fact that somebody is getting onto your part of the platform without you knowing it, all that is completely taken. So you pick and choose the kind of messaging, you pick and choose the kind of people who you would want to kind of take a look at your profile and stuff like that. So the data part, the privacy part is addressed quite effectively, if I may say so.
Okay, well, this is one exclusive international that you must definitely read in case you want to really find out which way is the social media realm really headed from here on as well. And for sure, I reiterate myself, this 32nd anniversary special issue of Business Today is definitely something that will have something for everyone out there. If you're a student, if you're a business person, if you are an entrepreneur in the making, an aspirant, or if you're a salaried class person, everybody will have something or the other to learn about which way is India really heading, to understand where your future will be linked at as well. So many thanks for joining us onto this special edition. Thanks a lot, Krishna. Thanks a lot, Surabhi, for giving us all those wonderful insights, and congratulations for putting together this bumper issue, which has a lot more insights for everyone out there. Viewers, please do go out on the stands and grab your copies, just like how I have got mine as well. With that, we wrap up this very special edition of Behind the Scenes. Do stay tuned on to Business Today Television as news and information continues on the other side from the world of business and stock markets.